On the part of bail reform, although cashless bail is still law, bail reform was modified in this budget, allowing misdemeanors and nonviolent charges to be bail eligible pre-trial detention. Also, on discovery reform, it was rolled back to extend the discovery time from 15 days of arraignment to 20 if you're in custody and 35 days if you're not in custody. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues and I passed the bail reform because we believe that the justice system was broken and it did not fairly serve the citizens of the state. I stand by the Bail Reform Act. I believe we have been entrusted as legislators to do everything in our power to ensure that citizens in our state are protected and have equal opportunities. Some of the changes proposed to the bail reform, I believe, is a rollback and will wrong the very thing we successfully righted. Allowing disparities in our justice system is simply unjust. For that reason, in the spirit of Khalif Browder, I strongly oppose this part of the bill. On the vaping, although I'm in support of banning flavored vaping products and have been working with our sponsor and the advocates, I would like to express my opposition for the FDA language in combating the use of harmful vaping and nicotine products. I don't have the confidence that the FDA will eliminate the selling of vaping and nicotine products under this administration. They stated earlier this year they would defer action against companies selling these products until companies submit applications for authorization to market and sell these products. This means that these products can still be sold, but under the FDA's rules. So to all the anti-vaping and tobacco advocates, do not get your hopes up high. Don't hold your breath. This loophole was suggested by the big tobacco, and in fact was said that they even came around to threaten some of our colleagues in government. Though it is important for there to be vaping prevention, control, and awareness programs to educate the youth and adults, it would be much easier if we banned the products altogether. For a very long time, we passed this in the Assembly, and now we have compromise. Massachusetts did it, New York City did it, and I want to tell the governor, Governor Cuomo, we can do it here the right way in New York State. I want to thank the sponsor of this bill. I want to thank Flavor Hooks Kids in New York City, NAACP, Cancer Action Network, American Cancer Society, Parents Against Vaping, and all the advocates who's been working on this. This is a progress, but there's still more to go. On surrogacy, raising a child is a precious opportunity that every man, woman who is interested in doing so should have. Thankfully, due to modern day technology of gestational carriers, this dream is a possibility, including for those who may experience challenges in the traditional process, like myself. Today, we have the ability to provide a resolution for both parties engaged in this process, the surrogate carrying the child and the parents awaiting the child. We need to make this a safe and fair opportunity for all. I want to thank the sponsor for fighting for this for many years and finally getting this through. And I want to thank, because a person like me, a woman of color who has experienced the loss of 2 babies and have had reproductive issue and also up there in age, now have new hope. So I am in support of making gestational surrogacy legal. And lastly, on Medicaid and the MRT, Medicaid redesign team recommendations, I completely oppose the $2.5 billion cut, especially during this pandemic. Although the federal stimulus will supplement the intended costs, we're going to have an issue next year. With our current healthcare crisis of COVID-19, this is not the right time to make cuts. I also oppose the 2.5-year look back on the home care. It will significantly impact eligibility for people many of whom are seniors who really need long-term managed care. I want to say that I'm very happy that the funding and supplements to the ambulance industry was restored, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, recently, just 2 days ago, I had 2 people who almost died, and I had to rely on the private ambulance. They are now stable in the hospital. I also rely on the care of my 81-year-old mom with the private ambulance. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a big and ugly. Every year we come across a big and ugly, and I hope we can work on the things that are not great, the ugly things. But in all, Mr. Speaker, I will be voting in the affirmative. Thank you.